Now, last week, news of a life-changing medical trial gave new hope to thousands of people suffering from deafness and hearing loss.
18-month-old Opal Sandy was born completely deaf, but back in September, she became the first person in the world to take part in a groundbreaking new gene therapy trial in the hopes of regaining her hearing.
And amazingly, it worked. Opal's parents, Joe and James, join us now. Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
How exciting.
So exciting. Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, still getting used to it. Can't believe it.
It's a life changer.
I'm sure. So you've got two little girls.
We do.
Nora and Opal. What are their ages?
So Nora turned 5 last week and Opal is about 18 months old.
And both of your little girls were deaf when they were born.
Yeah.
What was the cause of it?
So we didn't actually realise, with Nora being our eldest, all newborns in the country are offered a newborn hearing screening, which both girls actually pass. So you're sort of led to believe that if that's passed, then your child isn't deaf. Then we noticed at about 9 months old that Nora wasn't responding to things like her name. So we got in touch with our GP and then sort of snowballed from there, really. Spoke to our local audiology department at the hospital and very quickly became apparent that she was profoundly deaf and couldn't hear anything. And then that meant, with Nora's history, that when Opal was born, she was given the additional hearing tests. So that was picked up with Opal very early, at about 4 days old.
OK.
After we found out that Nora was deaf, they sort of investigated the reason behind it. So we had some genetic testing done prior to us having Opal.
Yeah.
But we didn't really receive the results until sort of around the time that Opal was born. So they were aware of a genetic fault, a genetic mutation with Nora, which they could sort of link to the two of them.
And that means that the two of you have a faulty gene that, when it comes together, has this impact on...
Absolutely. So we each have a variation in something called the OTOF gene, which codes for a protein called otoferlin, and that means the correct production of otoferlin means the cochlea can talk to the auditory nerve, which in our girls' cases, that couldn't happen.
OK. Had there been anything like this in the family previously that nobody knew on either side?
Nothing at all. It was completely blindsided us. We had no idea that there's any hearing difficulties in the family. Yeah.
So Nora's 5, and she has cochlear implants.
Yes, she has 2 cochlear implants. She had them when she was about 15 months old. We went through, with both girls actually, we've been through an intense programme of rehabilitation, lots of speech and language therapy, and through lots of support from various different professionals. She's managed to close the language gap. She goes to mainstream school. She's learned to speak. She signs as well.
Great.
Yeah. So we've sort of, Nora's shown us what can be done with 2 cochlear implants. So taking a different route was actually a really difficult decision.
And what made you take that decision?
When did you hear about the trial? I mean, because she's the first person in the world to experience it.
So we heard about the trial last May. So we're under the care of the John Ratcliffe, our local hospital in Oxford, and the ENT team spoke to their colleagues at a conference in Cambridge and were alerted to the trial running at Addenbrooke's. They thought Opal might be eligible. And then making that decision was really difficult, but Nora has a really fulfilling, a really happy life, but there are some difficulties she faces. She finds it much harder to hear in the classroom, her distance hearing. Safety is a real thing for us. At night, being alerted to alarms. She loves scooting and cycling, so having a helmet on and implants coming off and shouting for her to stop at a road. So the safety element, if this trial was even partially successful and Opal could be alerted to the loudest sounds to make her life safer, that was a chance we considered worth taking.
We're going to meet the girls in just a moment. We thought it was easier to talk to you first because they're playing at the moment with their uncle and aunt, and they're bundles of energy. So the process, James, of having this, having the gene therapy, what has that been like, and when did you suddenly realise that it had worked?
So the surgery for the gene therapy is a very similar surgery to a cochlear implant. They still have to sort of open up behind the ear, drill through the base of the skull to access to the cochlea. They then have an infusion of the
gene.
The working version of the gene, that's where the 16-minute sort of miracle. And it's just
the sensationalised headlines.
So the infusion of the gene takes 16 minutes, but the actual surgery itself, it takes a lot longer.
But she was away from us about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then after the surgery, it's just been a big schedule of sort of...
Lots of different appointments.
Yeah,
and then we
audiology,
first heard her respond to sound without the implant on about 3 weeks after surgery.
Because she had a cochlear implant at the same time, didn't she?
Within the same surgery. So the trial, because it was the first safety protocol, rightfully so, really, really tight.
Yeah.
It was a case of if anything were to go wrong, they didn't want to potentially damage both ears.
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
understandable.
yeah, that's why she has the gene therapy on one side, but a cochlear implant on the other.
And so when you realised that it wasn't just the cochlear implant that was helping her, it was the new gene therapy, how did that come about?
So I was testing how it was my day off work, sort of loud intermittent sounds.
Yeah.
On my own, and I was just testing. Her implant had fallen off, hadn't really clocked that, clapping really loudly, sat in the kitchen, and yeah, she turned. So I thought it was like a response to light or something that she'd seen out of her peripheral vision, but tested it a few times and it worked, and then text you, oh my goodness, I think it's working, and then you came home and...
Yeah, not sure I believed it at the start, but yeah, rushed home from work and sort of tested it out for myself, and yeah, it's quite incredible to see.
And she can hear so well now. I mean, she can hear things like whispers and everything, right?
Like her sister waking her up in the morning.
Yeah.
Can't do hoovering at bedtime anymore.
So we're used to sort of when they're napping in the daytime being able to throw a hoover around the house. But now, it wakes her up, so, yeah.
I think one of the things that's really important, I know that you want to explore this as well. The girls are about ready to come in.
Look at the two arms.
But for both of you, this was never about trying to cure.
No, so
deafness.
cure implies that you are relieving somebody of symptoms of a disease, and deafness is not a disease. We have a fully deaf older daughter.
Yeah.
They are both, in our eyes, still full members of the deaf community. They learn sign, they communicate in sign. Hello, beautiful. Yeah, Opal was not broken. She's not been fixed. She's not been cured. She's simply being given an opportunity to lead a safer life in our eyes.
Right.
It's so lovely to meet you both. Thank you for coming in. We thought we should do something to celebrate. So we've got you some toys we think the girls might quite enjoy. Come on in, gang.
Joe
with the toys.
and James might not feel the same about this,
Because
by the way.
all of the toys are essentially about being made...
Nora, can you bang really hard on this drum? I
Being
bet
able
you
to-
like making lots of noise, don't you? Go on, go.
Chewing it.
Oh, my.
Ooh.
There you go. Looks like Opal's in already.
You're just going to eat it,
And you can
aren't
play the keyboard as
look,
well.
Nora, there's a piano
We turn
down
that
there.
on.
Want to have a look?
Flick the little red thing.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap.
There you
Have a
go.
go at that one. Here
Yeah,
we
so
go.
they're into all the musical instruments now at home. Banging cutlery on the table. Where's
Go
my
for it.
dinner?
Come on, Elton.
So I imagine the atmosphere at home has changed, sort of just in terms of the sort of the
it's so cool.
general
What does this
cacophony of noise and sounds.
And it's lovely that she's
Look,
now
you can
able
DJ.
to respond to it and join in, and
Tiny.
Nora can speak to her, and there's some element of feedback for Nora
you
in terms of
DJ too.
interacting with her sister.
They have great fun together, yeah, making lots of noise.
And I think how is Opal's talking coming on as well?
So within about the last 6 to 8 weeks, she's saying things like, Daddy is typically
Daddy's
a
the
favourite.
favourite, yeah.
The best word, right? It's the best word. It's the first one.
Well done.
She'll get in the car and she'll say, go,
Yeah.
or like,
If she drops something, she'll go, uh-oh, and yeah.
they're like her favourites. And
Yeah.
that's come about from loads of really hard work with the speech and language team.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And all of the medical professionals that have supported us throughout the last year, everyone at Adam Brooks, everyone at the John Radcliffe has just been amazing. So, we feel really lucky.
It's a really, really
Tiny
very
bit.
special thing to meet her, the first person in the world to have this therapy.
Yummy.
And I think particularly, as you were both saying, a lot of it's about her lived experience, her keeping her safe, being able to make her aware of what's going on around her.
Yeah.
And that must be sort of a reassuring experience for the two of you to have now.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. The fact that her life may not be any happier or more fulfilling, Nora's life is fully fulfilled and really, really happy with this. Yeah, safety element, as we've said, like, really reassures us moving forward, absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming in and
Thank
sharing
you.
this story.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the noisiest presents we can find for you as well, by the way.
We can only apologise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Opal. Thank you,
you so
Nora, for
much.
coming
Thank
in.
you.
It's been lovely to meet you all.
Nora,
Are
can
they
you
going
say
to
thank
terrorise
you?
them?
Nora, do you want to wave? Can you wave?
Can you wave to all your friends?
Opal, can you wave? No.
No,
They're far too busy.
Too interesting. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.